Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Unscripted and Unchained RPG Review. I am DM Bluddworth, and as you can see by the graphics, today's video is an RPG A Day 2021 installment. And today's date is the 15th, and so it is day 15 of RPG A Day, and today's prompt is the word supplement. So as you can see on the graphic on the screen, each Sunday there is only a one-word prompt. You basically go with what that one word is. You have no choice or other choices in the matter. Uh, that being said, supplement is actually a very good topic to talk about related to our hobby, the tabletop RPG hobby. So let me switch views here so I can go to a wider screen. So supplements were actually something that came out right along with the first published tabletop RPG game, Dungeons and Dragons. So if you watch my earlier videos this week, you'll know that I did pick up my 3-volume set, and I picked this up as a set, and then I started working on picking up the supplements. So far I've picked up the first 3 supplements. The first of which is supplement number 1, Greyhawk. All right, and this is written by Gary Gygax and Robert Kuntz. And so I picked this one up here, and as I start flipping through it, I start to notice some of the things that it changes or includes that was not included in the original 3 books. And so that's really the purpose of a supplement as laid out by the earliest creators of tabletop RPGs. And that is that they're not simply addendums making corrections, although they may also do that as well, but they're usually adding additional content that was not covered in the original books. Now, this one here I have dated as 1976. However, Supplement 2, which I already picked up as well, the Blackmore Supplement, is actually dated, I believe, 1975. I'll double check. Yeah, so this one's 1975. So either they didn't release them in order, which wouldn't make very much sense, or this is just a later printing. So for Supplement 1. So I had Supplement 1, Greyhawk, Supplement 2, Blackmore, and Supplement 3 I just picked up in the mail yesterday. So Eldritch Wizardry, because people were asking for just more options, as far as I'm assuming magic and such. I have not gone into detail in any of these really, other than Blackmore I read straight through and actually did a separate video on the Blackmore supplement. I'll probably do the same with the rest of these. So here's some examples of supplements in their earliest form and with their original intent, and that is to add more content to the original core books. We have other examples of supplements, like right behind me you can see in that box right there is Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 2nd edition. Now, if you're familiar with that edition, that's the edition that really just bombarded the consumer with a massive amount of what we started calling splat books. And they're all supplements, and I believe there's close to 20 of them on my shelf there. So once you have your core 3 books, which is typically a Dungeon Master's Guide, a Monster Manual, and a Player's Handbook, then everything after that is a supplement. Now, supplements could be adding additional rules for character classes, such as 2nd edition does quite a bit of. It could have additional variants of races, which 2nd edition also does. And it could have books for non-weapons proficiencies and other things, which actually 1st edition AD&D did as well, with the Wilderness Survival Guide and the Dungeoneer Survival Guide. They both versions have like a manual of the planes and setting books as well. So A supplement is basically anything that is above and beyond what you generally need in order to play the game. All right, you really only need the core 3 books or slightly more than that in some cases to play a game. Sometimes all 3 components are combined into just one volume, um, such as For Golden Glory is an OSR clone of Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Second Edition, and that combines everything up into just one volume. Another example of that, where it's done very, very well, is Dungeons and Dragons Rules Encyclopedia takes all of the basic expert companion masters, and I don't believe it includes immortals, but it takes all of the earlier editions of Dungeons and Dragons Basic, takes all of those rules and puts them into just one volume. So if you had all of those, this becomes a supplement. But if you don't have all of those, then this becomes the core book that you can just utilize for any or all of them if you wish. Other examples I have of supplements done well and then consolidated is, I started playing Mifrog in about 2.4, so this is the 2.6, and 2.6 came with a number of splat books that you could pick up. So there was Men and Monsters, which were included in the core rule books, but if you just wanted a separate on the side supplement for quick access, same thing with skills, same thing with spells and favors. Some additional rules in Curses and Gifts that were not in the core book. Treasures and Travels in the core book, but just gives you a quicker reference, and then some additional content and in Deus Machina. Now, when 2.7 came out, not too long afterwards, I believe within 2 years, the second, this edition came out, and this included almost all of the supplements with the exception of some of the parts of this. So now, if you wanted to play this version of 2.7 of Mifrog, then you only need these 2 books really to do it, and all of these extras you no longer need. So that's another version of how supplement book, someplace to fill in the gap between one edition and the newest edition coming up. Now, in most cases, supplements are a benefit, but in other cases, I would say, argue, like with second edition, if you're coming to second edition after the fact, especially long after the fact, as I did, you might see, well, oh my gosh, there's 20 different supplements to this game system, and you just don't buy into it. You decide, I'm not going to buy all of that. I might not even go into it at all. And so having so many supplements starts becoming cost prohibitive for the consumer. And so I think gaming companies, for the most part, need to be a little bit more selective about how they're doing supplements, when they're doing supplements, how many supplements they're doing, and what's the purpose of their supplements. If their supplements just become a cash generating purpose, then the players are going to pick up on that, and they're going to reject it. They're not going to buy into it. I've been told that third edition of Dungeons and Dragons takes supplements to even a further extent than second edition did. And so that's one reason why I just have the third edition core books. I will never start buying into any of the supplements of third edition or 3.5 for that matter, because it's just not something that I'm willing to spend $500+ on just to amass that huge collection. When I have the core books, I really don't need to. So supplements are overall a positive. They're one way for a gaming company to very quickly turn out some additional information or additional rules, additional content that they've play tested and now want to put out there for the players to actually use. First edition AD&D did the same thing with Unearthed Arcana, and then eventually they started just putting those into the later editions of the rule books. Not all of the rules, but most of the rules would find their way into future editions of Dungeons and Dragons thereafter. So once again, overall supplements are a positive, as long as the company doesn't go too overboard with the number of them, and as long as they're giving some new content out there, or fixing some major problems that existed in the in the previous core rule books. Supplements are certainly something that's a net positive for the hobby. So once again, I hope you like this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the questions and comments section. Keep it on topic. I know I don't mind like when you're coming into the channel and making comments, for the most part, because it does help the algorithms. But in a supplements video, talk about supplements, and in a video about safety tools, which was the last video I put up sometime early this morning. Actually, I believe I launched it. Talk about safety tools, and the pros and cons of safety tools. So in this video here, talk about supplements, the pros and cons of supplements that you kind of believe in or recognize or just have feelings about. And as always, thanks for stopping in. Just keep on playing out there. I look forward to seeing you on a gaming screen soon. Big news for me tomorrow is that I am launching my first edition AD&D Greyhawk campaign tomorrow evening. So really excited about that. Have 10 players, or at least I'm expecting between 9 and 11 players, but so average 10 players starting off tomorrow. Really looking forward to it. And other than that, the rest of the week is wide open for some more of these little mini videos. So thanks for joining. Have a great day and take care.